Welcome to episode 149.5.
Yes.
Not quite 150 because this is an abbreviated episode. And what we're just going to do is preview the playoffs and expose our complete ignorance of baseball by picking teams that are going to be going home by Thursday, probably. So
You know what, though, Vince? Most of the experts, they don't know it as much as us. They miss too. Very seldom does anybody pick both teams. So I think we have just as good a shot as they do.
I do too. Man, I'm feeling real good.
I'm feeling good.
I'm So let's start by looking at the teams that start tomorrow. And let's start with the American League because I think these two series are very fascinating. You have the classic rivalry of the Red Sox versus the Yankees, and the winner will play the Blue Jays. So it's all going to stay in the East for the first two rounds in that bracket. And then you have Detroit and Cleveland, two teams that are going in the complete opposite directions, and the winner of that will be playing Seattle. So
Oh.
let's start with the Yankees and the Red Sox. Um, JJ, what are your thoughts?
Well, all the games in that round will take place in New York. I think that's a big advantage for them, that short right porch. The Yankees are a phenomenal power hitting team, maybe explosively, and they got veterans, one of the more explosive teams. With that being said, Vince, when it comes down to playoffs, I think it's bullpen and defense. And starting pitchers is nice, but the Red Sox, they're a younger team. Um, I mean, but they're going to lose one of the Roman Anthony, who's been a big spark plug for them all year. He will not be there to play. Um, I just think Boston going to New York, that crowd's going to be rowdy. Uh, I'm going with the Yankees, but I just think the Yankees have too much power. Bellinger's had a real good year. Trent Grisham. What can you say about Aaron Judge? Maybe the best, one of the best. He won a batting title this year too, and only hit 54 home runs. Uh, they're starting pitching now. When you break it down to when you only got three pitchers, it's not too shabby. They've got a lot of injuries, but Freed and Rondon and Gill, who has come up there, and Vince, what we're going to see a lot too in this round is they're going to. I don't know if some of these teams are going to trust the young guys. They may not have a choice, but there's some guys that came up that pitched pretty good for these playoff teams, but they're like in their first or second year, and I don't know. That's a lot to put on a young pitcher. That's going to be some telltale stuff there too. But I think the Yankees are going to wear out the Red Sox starting pitching, get in their bullpen, and they just got too much power. They can explode at any time, especially in that ballpark. So I have to go Yankees, and I'll go three games.
I find this interesting because I do think the Yankees are the better team and they are the healthier team at this time. However, Boston was 9-4 against the Reds or against the Yankees this year, and they actually had a winning record in Yankee Stadium. So they haven't been intimidated by the Yankees. They played them very well. Uh, Dustin may return for later in the playoffs if Boston goes a little bit further. But Lucas Giolito has elbow issues, and he certainly is not going to pitch in this wild card round, and that's going to be something that's going to hurt the Red Sox is having one of your big pitchers out. And they still have Crochet, and then the second game they plan on starting Bello. But the thing about starting Crochet, the Yankees are starting Freed, so both have had fantastic seasons. And then in game two, Bello against Rodon. So I'm thinking it's if Boston has a shot, they have to win this first game. I don't think they can lose the first game and then win two straight because they're already going to blow Garrett Crochet out of the water, and he's not going to be able to pitch again until the next round if they go that far. So I think the Sox are going to have a very tough time. I do like Story short, he's the Sox have the advantage there. Bregman, they have the advantage there. Um, but for the most part, you're looking at Goldschmidt, Judge, Bellinger, Stanton, Trent Grisham, who
Great year
quietly
by
hit
him.
34 home runs. Um,
Chisholm had a 30-30 season,
yeah,
and that Ben Rice, that big catcher they got in Wells, both hit 20 home runs.
yeah.
And Stanton, can't forget him. Sometimes he gets lost in the mix, but at any time he can go on a tear.
Oh, he killed in the postseason last year. So I give the edge to the Yankees, and I give the Yankees a big advantage in this. So let's watch as the Red Sox win 2 games in a row and show us how stupid we are. Okay. Oh, what are your thoughts on Detroit and Cleveland?
Oh my gosh! Well,
Here it is. Cleveland is a jet taking off, and
oh
Detroit is a jet crash landing. So what's going to happen here? And
well,
we are in Cleveland.
yes, and we are in Cleveland. Defense, they match up. I mean, there's some. I was looking at defensive metrics, and the last month, of course, it's all Cleveland there. Uh, I would go pitching staffs. I would go, let's see, at the time with the health and everything, I got so many notes here. Um, you know, it's going to be tough. And having Cleveland, I always think there's a good home field advantage. And Detroit has just been, everybody's just in a giant slump. Flaherty hasn't pitched too good. You're only going to get to throw Struble one game. That's it. It's not, I like this setup, Vince, because in the old days, if it was a 3 game series, you travel, and then you might travel back, and you might be able to use your best pitcher a couple of times. But this time it's 3 games in 3 days if it goes that far. So I think it's a huge disadvantage for the Tigers there. These games will be the noon game, and you can tell what the MLB thinks. Whoever's on at noon is the least attractive of the bunch. It's usually in this, Central Time Zone game. So I won't be able to see these because I'll be at work, but I'll certainly be keeping track of it. Um, as far as hitting, oh my gosh, this is I have to go Cleveland. I just do. I think they're timely hitting. They put the ball in play and move the runners over. They steal bases, and for me, I just can't see Tigers turning it around. Just not going to switch. So I have to go the Guardians in this. I'll go 3 games as well on that.
Okay, they have an identical record.
I think so.
With Cleveland being they had the better regular season record, they got the division, and Detroit slipped down into the wild card and barely hung on. Um, so when you look at the big picture, they're very even. But when you look at post All Star game, I'm a big believer in momentum. And I know
Yeah.
momentum, it has a lifespan and it can run out at any time. Just ask the Colorado Rockies in 2005 when they won like 50 games in a row. And then
Oh,
they got to the World Series and it just stopped against the White Sox team that I thought at the time, I thought Colorado's got a better team here. But I really do think that the Guardians have all the momentum and the Tigers are in a mindset where they're really questioning themselves. This isn't the 2006 Cardinals when everybody knew that they were getting healthy at the end of the year and they had a healthy team going into the playoffs. This is a Tigers team that's like, we don't have any help coming in. We're in disarray. We've been playing terrible, and I just don't see them snapping out of it in the playoffs. Uh, I do think Scooble is a big advantage over Williams. Um, but Williams had an ERA of about 3. It's not like he's a bad pitcher or anything like that, but Scooble is Scooble. So, but they haven't even announced starters for game 2 and 3. Detroit has, which is a little bit of a sign of disarray. And Cleveland is relatively healthy. Detroit, Cole Keith may return, but it would be deeper into the playoffs. And Matt Verlaine may return, but that would also be deeper into the playoffs. So they're kind of stumbling into this round. they're a little banged up, and the pitching's in disarray. So I it's going to be the Guardians, and I will say 3 games.
That fan base is going to be electrified there too with the way they got in there. And I don't know, Vince, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it. Great coach, coaching staff, and you got Jose Ramirez. And I think the other guy, the only hitter they had that was like a major threat was I can't say names, Mazzarato. He had a really good year. But that's it. Those two guys, everybody else is just, and of course, Fry, who got hurt by getting hit in the face, he'll be there. And I just think that's an inspirational thing. This guy, I mean, uh, my gosh. So Cleveland, I'm with you, Vince. Cleveland.
Well, let's go to the Padres and the Cubs. The Padres are relatively healthy going into the playoffs. The Cubs are not. Horton is for sure going to miss this round. He's on the 15-day IL, and as soon as he's going to be able to pitch would be game 5 of the NLDS if we make it that far. Um, Amaya, we're not sure, possibly the second round of the playoffs. He has been playing a little bit in AAA, but I'm not sure they're going to activate him for this first round. And Ryan Brazier is there. I don't know. Do we need him? I don't know. Possibly he'd be available for the second round. But the big deal is Horton is not going to be pitching in this first round, which kind of puts the Cub pitching in disarray. And he broke his rib coughing,
Oh,
just like Sammy Sosa
oh.
did 20 years ago. Hey, stop coughing, Cubs. So, um, but what I'm banking on is I'm banking on momentum, which we do have momentum. We had and I at this point I'm talking the offense is clicking. That's offensive momentum. We've been clicking for about 6 or 7 games now, and Tucker is back, and he hasn't had a big impact personally, but he has had an impact on our lineup because it lengthens the lineup. And the Cubbies have 3 guys with 30 home runs, and they have 3 guys with 20 home runs. Then they have uh, the Carson Kelly with 17 home runs, Matt Shaw with 13 home runs. So we've got the pop, we've got the speed. PCA was a 30-30 guy. So I'm hoping that our offense stays clicking, and we do have the advantage of being at home. That being said, uh, San Diego was set up. They have Nick Pivetta going the first game, and we have Matthew Boyd, who at least pitched good his last outing. Then they have Dylan Cease, and we have TBD. Will it be Imanaga? I don't know. Colin Ray? I don't know. Kyle? I don't know. Mike Soroka? I don't know. And then the third game, they have Darvish already in, and we have to figure out our pitching once more. So I think somehow that it's going to be Boyd. We know the first game. The second game, probably Imanaga. And the third game is going to be Tayo. Imanaga is the one that scares me because when the weather's nice, he's going to give up the home runs. He just is. And this is a very good lineup with Tatis, Arise, Machado, Jackson Merrill, Bogarts, Ryan O'Hearn, Cronenworth, Gavin Sheets. So, yeah, I like our lineup, but boy, I do like what they're throwing at us for the first 3. I am going to pick the Cubs just because we're at home and I'm a homer.
Hey, I like that. You're honest. Well, Vince, I grade on 5 principles. This is my 5 principles I kind of look at. Star power. Who's got these big guys that can just take the game over? Sometimes, like you just see that they're going to be batting. You can see, oh no, there's a third guy, 5th guy up in the lineup. They get a couple guys on, and here they come. And health, momentum, which you talked about a moment ago, defense, pitching / bullpen, because in the playoffs, it seems like it always gets down to the bullpen. I am a big Craig Counsell fan. I think he's a terrific manager. He's second year with Chicago. He's got more of a stamp on it this time. I like the Cubbies because they're daring. They're aggressive on the base pads. They take that extra base, a lot of team speed. I don't think the Padres have nearly as good a defense as the Cubs. I think Council will have a short leash with the pitchers if they, if they're look for some reason not hitting their spots and getting into that bullpen. The Cardinals played the Cubs, which wasn't fair. They slapped us around, but looking at that bullpen, it's a lot better than I saw the last time we played the Cubs in the middle of the year. They've really, the bullpen has excelled and become much, much better. And that's where it's going to come down to defense and your bullpens. And I tell you what, I just like the moxie of the Cubs, their aggressiveness. And one thing I'll say about San Diego, and it's always been true, they're very confident. I was going to say cocky. They're very confident. But if things don't go quite their way, sometimes they have a way of just falling apart. They like to dance around and have a good time. If things don't go quite their way, it just seems like the pressure gets to them. And I think these Cubs are battle tested. I mean, I've got a lot of stats here and everything, and I know the Cubs are banged up right now. And I mean, their pitching staff, they lost some of their best pitchers this year. But this year, the Cubs and the Padres have played an even series. And I just think I'm looking here at the hitting, and I think the Cubs have better hitting from top to bottom than the Padres do. So I'm going to go Cubs in three. I'm going three in all of them because I think these teams are so good and anybody can win one game. But things do happen, but I'm going Cubs in three to advance to the second round.
I hope. I sure
Yeah,
hope.
I hope so too. Knowing you, I kind of always have a little extra watching the Cubs. Like, come on, for Vince, do this.
Do it for me. Yeah. I don't mean to sound like that guy, but not having been in the postseason, I mean, the COVID year doesn't count to me. Not having been in since 2018, there is an element of I'm just happy we're back.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's cool. You
I
guys had a
hate,
great year.
yeah. And one thing that I think is going to be interesting, you have two of the biggest, um, I don't know what the word is.
Markets or
No, no,
stars.
no. I'm talking about two of the cockiest players in
Oh,
Tatis Jr. and PCA.
well,
And
that's true.
that's I could see both of them pimping home runs, and yeah, maybe it'll
I
get you.
I think the defense is going to be from them two especially off the charts. They're going to be wanting to show the world that hey, I'm the guy. So that's going to be a good matchup right there, just to see what goes on. Of course, you can't make a great play unless it's a play you have to go get. So we'll see what happens.
Cincinnati and the Dodgers, which on paper looks like a very uneven matchup, and it is. Cincinnati has one thing though that scares me:
Hart,
pitching.
yes, they did.
They have the arms to shut teams down. And I remember at the trading deadline when I thought that they needed to get offense, they traded for Cabrian Hayes. And I thought, man, I think you needed more of an why didn't you get Suarez? Why didn't you, go a route where you had some offense? But they decided that they were going to make it a priority to prevent runs. So they solidified third base with the best defensive third baseman in the league. And it's really paid off for them. They're not a great team. They're barely over 500, but they did get into the playoffs thanks to the Cubs letting them sweep after we clinched in Pittsburgh. Uh, but I don't see this offense is so weak. I don't think
Yes.
they have a 270 hitter. Um, did anybody hit 20 home runs? Maybe Ellie De La Cruz, but that may be it. This is just a very weak offense. And the Dodgers, um, are they going to have Muncy? Are they going to have Will Smith? That's still kind of up in the air. Muncy looks like he's going to make the roster. Will Smith's kind of I don't know what time they have to have the roster set by. Do you have any idea?
No, I do not. The day, I guess tonight, probably the day
Tonight or
before it starts.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Muncy and Smith are iffy for the Dodgers. Kirby Yates, there's a possibility he might return for the postseason roster. I don't know if it'll be this round. And Michael Kopech is also looking like he may return for not this round, but a later round. But Otani, Betts, Freeman, Muncy, if he's back, Teoscar Hernandez, Tommy Edman, Andy Podges, uh, Miguel Rojas, and then Will Smith if he's back. It's like, oh my gosh, there is just nowhere to sleep. It's just such a powerful lineup, and they start right out of the gate with Otani. So game one's going to be Hunter Green, who pitched excellent his last start against the Cubs, against gosh, why did I almost say Ian Snell?
Uh, is it Lodoto or is it Green or who am I
Huh?
thinking? Abbott? Got an
No,
Abbott over
no,
there?
Snell. What's his first name? Ian was his dad, right?
Uh, I don't know. Vince, I'm at lost for words. I don't know.
How did
Pitching.
we
Let
get
me see.
old? How did we
I
get old?
don't know. Oh man, it happened quick.
Let
Oh,
me
Singer. Is it Singer they're going to start?
let me figure out which Snell is pitching. Because now this is bothering me. Uh, Blake Snell. Ian was the dad.
Oh,
Blake
okay.
Snell. So
When
the
you said
first game,
Ian, that's all I could think of after you said that. Yeah.
yeah, the first game is going to be Hunter Green against Blake Snell. Both teams for the second and third game are yet to be determined. The Dodgers relatively healthy. They clinched a long time ago. I don't know why they don't have their pitching lined up yet. I know that the Reds they had to play meaningful games until the last game, so um, they may be saying gonna wait till tomorrow and find out which pitcher feels the best for game two and go from there. But I think this is going to be a Dodgers cakewalk in 2 games, and I just feel like the this isn't the big red machine. The little red machine is going to run out of juice against the Dodgers.
Yeah. Vince, and a lot of this was done in Cincinnati. What when I have hitting statistics here, and they're just 28th and 29th in so many categories. Uh, they're 21st in home runs, and they hit 235 as a team, and the OPS they're 19th and 20th in runs scored. And a lot of this was done. This trouble with their offense was done in Cincinnati, which is a hitter's park. Well, they're going to be in LA now, which is a pitcher's park with those pitchers. And I have to say, the Dodgers hitting, it's 7 players deep. I mean, you always think of Otani, Freeman, and Betts, but now you're talking about Will Smith if he's able to play, who I think if it hadn't been for Kyle Riley, he might be the best hitting catcher in the game. But Kyle Riley set the standard so crazy this year with the power and everything. And then Pages, Muncy, and Tarasco Hernandez, who's had a heck of a year. He gets lost in all those big names and everything, but he's had a heck of a year. So if you try to pitch around those big three, and Vince, I remember when the Giants had Mitchell, Clark, and Williams. Seems like they batted every other inning. You couldn't get around those guys. And these guys will be coming back around. Their bullpen is, I don't think the Reds bullpen even matches up with the Reds. And those Dodgers take professional bats. They're going to, and Green, he's a strikeout pitcher, but they're going to work him and he'll be up to 100 pitches probably in 4 to 6 innings somewhere in there. And they'll get in that bullpen and find a spot and come up with the big hits.
Yeah,
You said every,
if
you
I'm
said
Hunter
every,
Green, I'm not going to try to be cute. I'm going to throw my fastball over the plate. I'm not going to try to nibble at all because their only shot is for him to go six,
yeah.
close to 7 innings.
Those
And
great starters are going to have to eat up a majority of their
yeah,
innings. You're right. You're right. And you said everything so well. It's just the Dodgers. I tried to look at every stat I could defense. And, the Dodgers got so many. I didn't even mention Edmonds either. He said that guy can play anywhere. So Yeah, I've looked every way I can, and even the Dodgers are so good that you forget. Like at the end of the year, you're like, oh, the Reds had a great last month. They were 14-11. Well, the Dodgers went 15-10. That's how good they are. When they're 15-10, you're like, oh man, they're kind of in a down swing. No, that's just how good they are. They're consistently just tough. But having to play that first round, now that may be a little problem on down the road. So, but I'm taking the Dodgers with they're going to pound the Reds in that first round.
In the four teams that are not playing in the wild card round, Toronto is really banged up. Bo Bichette, will he be back for the early rounds of the playoffs with his knee? I don't know. Chris Bassett has a back issue. Is he going to be back? Is his back going to be in good enough shape by the time they start playing? Who knows? Jose Barrios, he's got an elbow issue and he's on the IL for the first time in his career. He's not had a great season, but he's there, that fourth starter who just takes the ball all the time and pitches his heart out. So we don't know about him. Ty France, is he going to be back? He's got a left oblique strain. There's just so many question marks about the Blue Jays. And Nick Sandlin, he's got a right elbow issue. So if they get these guys healthy, or the majority of them healthy, by the time the division series starts, they're going to be in pretty good shape. If they're not healthy and they only get one back or none back, or just get Barrios back, boy, suddenly they become much more down to earth. Um, Seattle, I looked at them and I think they're relatively healthy. So I like what they're bringing into their first round. The Phillies are relatively healthy. I mean, Zach Wheeler's out for the year, but I'm talking about players who, would be
Yeah,
able to play this year in playoffs, relatively healthy. And the Brewers, Contreras should be back for the divisional series. Quintana possibly back for the divisional series. And Woodruff is still kind of a complete mystery. Is he going to be back at all in the playoffs? We just don't know. So I've kind of went over the health of the teams. What do you think of these final four, or these four teams that have the first round bye?
I think that's a huge advantage for them. Like you said, some of them had some injuries. I did hear Bobuchet should be ready for the second round, which, believe it or not, it might be happening by this weekend. I think the second round starts this coming weekend, isn't it?
Saturday?
Yeah, I think so. So they get a day off or two, and then you start the next round. I mean, baseball's getting right after it, so that's good. A big advantage. So a lot of these guys are having trouble getting their pitching staffs, and these teams that got the buys, which they earned, can set their teams a little bit better. And like you said, I did hear Bichette was going to be back, but I don't know about Barres. And there was another kid too that had a real good year. Um, right elbow Barres, Bichette, uh, left knee, I believe it says there. So
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully they're back. They need him. But the Toronto Blue Jays have five players with at least 120 OPS, and they take very good at bats. I like the way they play the game. That's going to be great. And Toronto will be playing. We both said the Yankees, which ought to be. That's odd. They playing within a division again. These two teams know each other very well. But I'm going Toronto over the Yankees, then.
I am going with Toronto over the Yankees. The caveat being if they are healthy.
That's true.
If they're not healthy, um, I mean the Blue Jays do have home field advantage in that series, which is going to be a big help, and they match up pretty good against the Yankees. So I'll take Toronto. What do you think about the Mariners and
And the
the
Guardians.
Guardians?
Yeah, Vince, I think this is where it kind of ends for the Guardians. What a story. But Seattle, if you look at that team, Vince, they are just stacked. They're 10th in OPS. And of course, at the trading deadline, they picked up, I think, This was one of the big pickups they've had. Suarez, a third, and he killed both the Cubs and the Cardinals this year. That guy can go just on a binge and just tear you up. And Naylor has a history of coming up big in the postseason. That's two very, very good players. Plus, I just that team with Rosarina and Julio Cruz. Um, I think Crawford, their shortstop, is underrated. He's a very good player. I think they just have put together a much better hitting. And to me, I think the Mariners might have, from top to bottom, the best pitching staff. And if you put two of those top starters in their bullpen, that's even looking better now. So I think the Mariners are going to be ready. Vince, Seattle's never been to the World Series. They've had some good teams over the years, some great players, but that city is going to be on, it's going to go wild. So that's going to be a great atmosphere up there for the playoffs. And I'm going Seattle.
What do you think of the Phillies?
Well, Vince, they've got a lot of veterans, but so do the Dodgers. The Dodgers and the Phillies. Uh Vince, they've lost some of their pitchers. They for years and years they had those two top relievers, uh, Nolan and Wheeler, and one of them's hurt, and the other one has not had a good year. Although they have had some other good starters, I just don't think they can match up pitching wise with the Dodgers. Both teams, great hitters, power. There's so many players I love on both sides. I love, my heart wants the Phillies to beat this because I do not want to see the Dodgers get back to the World Series. But I just think they're too much. Is this a 5 game series or a 7 game series in this
I
round?
think the second round is a 5 game
5
series.
games? I don't know. Well, they might be have enough to get through 5, but I just think the Dodgers have too much from top to bottom. That's just too good of a team. And I think the Phillies are going to give them a good run. It wouldn't surprise me if the Phillies win this, but I just, common sense says if they played 10 series, the Dodgers would probably win 8 of them. So I have to go Dodgers there.
Yeah, I'm going Dodgers too. I really like this Phillies team. Uh, they are getting a little long in the tooth.
Yes.
Um, they got that butcher in right field, Nick Castellanos, who's the worst defensive outfielder in baseball now. But he's got to play because what's the alternative? Schwarber.
Yeah.
Schwarber is not an out. It's, well, I don't want to be mean to it. Um, but I just think that the Dodgers have way too much firepower, and the Phillies have had their issues pitching, and so I'm going with the Dodgers, even though the Phillies will have the home field advantage.
Well,
And as for us in the Midwest, as big as a Toronto Yankee or a Toronto Red Sox series would be in the second round, if the Cubs play the Brewers, that's going to be so wild. I I don't think that the Cubs can win this. I don't think we have the pitching, and I think that we're going to run out of arms because we have to play that first round, which I think we can do okay in. But by the time we're playing Milwaukee, we're gonna be leaning on a lot of arms, and I think we're just gonna run out of gas there, kind of like we did in 2017. We had a great team. We made it to the uh, division championship series, and we just ran out of gas. And I kind of see that happening with us against the Brewers. Um, the good news is uh, Woodruff may not be back. Um,
sure.
Mizorowski, we've hit him pretty good this year. We've done pretty good, and I know he started hot, but just watching him, I thought there's going to be a book on him, and he's going to get hit pretty good. I His swing and miss stuff is good, but it can be hit, especially if you lay off pitches and make him come into the strike zone with a fastball. You gear up for it, you hit it. Um, he doesn't scare me. But of course, Peralta scares me. And so do polar bears, by the way. Two things that scare me. Peralta and polar bears. So
Well, they're going to make twice the money in parking because the Brewers always charge $40 for parking when the Cubs are in there and $20 for everybody else. I tell you what, if they can beat the Cubs, which Vince, I do think they can, that is a bigger win for them than anyone. And they look at you guys as the standard and has been a thorn in their side for years and years and years. And this could be the best chance they've had to beat the Cubs and go on to the championship round. Vince, I haven't seen a team, and I was looking at all the stats of sacrifices and stolen bases. They're a fast team. Defensively, I think the Cubs and Brewers are two of the better defensive teams in all of baseball. I just think their pitching's deeper. Bullpens, I think the Brewers have a little bit better bullpen over the course of the year. I really couldn't break it down to the last month or so, but I think your bullpen has gotten much, much better. It's just going to be some really good games. I think it comes down to starting pitching, and I think both teams take good at bats and make the pitchers work. It's just going to be who has the better starts. But I think the Brewers have that one thing that counts in postseason over almost anybody else, and that's being able to produce a run, moving guys over, getting the walk, stealing the bases. The Cubs is also one of the better teams at that too, but the Brewers, there's just something about them this year where, unless they just get just ran over, if it's a close ball game, they can figure out a way to win it. And I like them in close games over almost anybody. So I do have to go the Brewers this time, Ben.
I will say this: when the Brewers were on their hot run, which was not going to last, but when they were on their really hot run, it was the Cubs that cooled them off um, in Milwaukee. So the Cubs aren't intimidated by the Brewers. I think it will be fascinating if we do face the Brewers in the playoffs, what the mix is going to be for Cub fans in Milwaukee Stadium.
Yeah.
If I mean, we're not going to have half the fans because I'm sure the Milwaukee people are going to. We're not letting these Cub fans. We're going to get the tickets as soon as possible.
That's like an hour apart, isn't it? Like an hour and a half
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
So, so I I am picking the Dodgers to defeat the Brewers um, in the National League Championship Series and in the American League Championship Series. I'm picking the Mariners over Toronto. And then
Vince,
I think we're going to have the two most talented teams play each other. And I do think that I hate to say it, I think the Dodgers is going to win number two in a row.
I was looking, Vince, great minds think alike. I have the Dodgers in Seattle advancing as well, and I do think they're the most talented teams of everyone. I think Seattle's got the better starting pitching than the Dodgers right now with the health of the Dodgers. Um, I I think it's going to be great. By the way, I got the Vegas odds here. Vegas has the Phillies as the number one. If you, for $100 bet, you can win $400. You take the Phillies. The Dodgers and the Seattle are second and third, both at you'd win 500 on a $100 bet with Seattle. So and then it goes down to Toronto, Milwaukee, Yankees, Padres, Cubs, Red Sox, Cleveland, and then the Reds as
What are
being
the
the
odds?
let's see. You bet $100, you win 1,400 if the Cubs win the World Series.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to make 1,400 because I will not put down $100. So
I'm scared. Yeah, I'm just saying it's 1 to 14. So put 100, you get 1,400. But I'm going Seattle to win in 6 games, and I think though, Vince, I want it to be that way. I don't want the Dodgers to win because I don't want to reward them for spending more money than anybody else. I like this upstart team, and Seattle's never been to the World Series, and it'd be great for them to get their first one. So maybe I'm thinking more with my heart, but that's what I'd like to see in maybe I've convinced myself that's the way it's going to be, but I'm going to go Seattle over the Dodgers.
So before we finish up here, if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, Cincinnati would not be on this list. The Mets would.
Oh yeah.
The Mets, epic collapse. Do you know that there's only been two teams with $300 million payrolls that have missed the playoffs?
Who's the other one? The
The
Mets.
2023 Mets.
Oh man, how about that? Yeah, and Alonso said he's going to go free agent right after the season was over. He said he's going to file and be a free agent this year. Now he could come back, but he's out there, so I don't know what they're going to do.
Boy, it looked like a few years ago that the Cubs were going to trade for him, and we didn't. And then Michael Bush this year with his 34 home runs. It's just like that.
As a Cardinal fan, the four greatest players I've seen in my lifetime, and I say this because they kicked our butts, is Carlos Beltran, Michael Bush, John Milner, and oh, there was another one too. Oh, David Ortiz. Those four are the best players I've ever seen in my life. My gosh, they just beat us senseless.
I'm telling you, if I was Miles Michaelis, I wouldn't have even went to Chicago. So I'm sorry. I think I have um,
Reds,
PMS or something. I don't know. I can't
I
go.
oh, it was not even fair. That was a rough 2 starts he had up there.
Oh my gosh. I felt bad. Hey guys, you can quit killing this guy.
Vince, may I talk about the contest real quickly? We've got a
Certainly.
contest. We've got 17 listeners from, I mean, from all over the place. New York, Mark Marinero, he's in it. We've got people from Illinois, Missouri, and Indiana, and Ohio in this. And 5 of the people have been on the show. This is the first time we've had a contest where we have 3 ladies. So thank you, ladies, for playing along. And right now we have so many choices. So our listeners pick the team that's going to win it, the team they're going to beat, and how many games. So if your team goes all the way and wins it, if you didn't pick the opponent and somebody else picked the winner and the opponent, they would win. So the opponent and the games are kind of the tiebreakers. And right now, our listeners said that right now the odds-on favorite from our listeners it's the Phillies to win the World Series. 6 of the 17 said the Phillies, and 5 said Seattle. And we've even had 2 for the Padres, 1 for the Dodgers, 1 for the Yankees, 1 for the Brewers, and 1 for the Red Sox. And she's from Massachusetts, so she had to pick her Red Sox. And then to get to the World Series but lose, we have 5 people picked the Yankees. To get to the World Series and lose, 4 picked the Seattle, 2 the Dodgers, 2 the Phillies, 2 the Padres, 1 Toronto, and 1 Milwaukee. So good luck to everybody. And each week,
Nobody believes in the Cubs.
no, nobody picked the Cubs to win or lose the World Series.
I've
But
been on here all year touting the Cubs. Oh, sure, I've gotten angry at them at times.
yeah,
Come on, man.
but wouldn't that be great? Not only could they win it, but they show everybody who the boss is, and nobody believed in them. Now they got a chip on their shoulder. So it's going to be fun. And every time we get together, we'll go over who's continuing on. We got 17 challengers right now. We got some prizes. We've got a Mike Matheny authenticated 8x10. It's authenticated as you see right here. And then I have this is one that we don't know if this guy's going to be a great player or not, but it's 24 out of 32. Gordon Graceffo, Boys of Summer card, and it's autographed. And I may even throw some more in there, but right now that's the opening prize thing. And each round I may throw another prize in there. So that'll be fun. So we got something going on, something to look forward to besides the playoff in the World Series.
Yeah, and one bozo picked the Pirates over the Marlins.
I saw that.
I am,
John Maddie,
I am
my
not going to
favorite
mention his
comedian.
name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
For those of you who don't know, he put uh, P's over the M's. So I put picking the Pirates over the Marlins.
Yeah. He liked that. He put a like on there. I hadn't heard from him in a long time. I just put it out there on Facebook and got some responses. A lot of people sent me message. Some people called, and we had 17. And I'm waiting for an 18th, but he hasn't sent me his pics yet. So I told him by 6:30 tonight, but we'll see if he gets it in.
All right. Well, JJ, it's been a fun abbreviated. I'm calling this episode 149.5 because 150 has got to be better than this. More robust, more fun, more baseball-y.
Woohoo!
This is like our most baseball-y thing. We didn't talk about music or
Oh,
wrestling or
yeah, anything. Or falling down.
down, stuff like that. So,
You be careful. And I know you got a trip, so be careful. Drive safely.
all righty. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.